Life after a loss, completely different. I'm not the same person I was a year ago. My father committed suicide, and in my family, I think that was a big shock to all of us and a huge eye-opener to men's mental health. And so that's something I hold very, very close to my heart now, which I never thought about in the same light before.
Yeah.
So him committing suicide definitely played a huge, huge role on how I see men and how I view my brother and, you know, people in business industry. Like, it's just so hard out there, and we don't always acknowledge that. We just see them grinding and sometimes take it for granted. I learned how to be less closed off to the world after my dad died. I grew up around abuse, drugs, alcohol, instability when it comes to mental issues, and never told a single person. Just imagine, I'm exactly who I am now, but all through school having to deal with all of this going on, but still put up a front and go to school, do what I need to do, smile when I need to smile. Not a single person knowing what's going on when I get home. My entire life. And I thought that was the best way to deal with stuff. So I kept going like that until my dad died, and I realized God doesn't put you in situations for you to keep quiet about them. Whatever you're going through is going to impact someone else in a positive way if you just learn from it. So I learned that not everyone is happy all the time, and not everything is the way it looks. Like, I was walking down across campus one day, and one of the professors stopped me and was like, "You just have everything. You have the perfect family, you've got good grades, you're doing so well." And on that same day was the day I found out my dad committed suicide. And I still turned around and smiled and said, "Thank you so much," and carried on walking. Not a single bit of emotion.
Wow.
So nobody knew. Nobody knew what was going on, how my dad died. I don't think I told people how my dad died until a few months later. Yeah. And so I've learned to open up more about who I am, because I feel going back to relationships and finding genuine connections, I'm never going to find that if I hide that part of myself. I'm determined, but I also have a lifetime of bad shit that led me here. That's just how it is. On the other hand, I don't tell people that stuff because I don't want them to view me in a certain light. Like, if I'm having a bad day, I don't want someone to assume it's because something's going on at home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what people tend to do. No, I'm just not in a good mood. Like, let me live. So finding that balance of being vulnerable, but also learning to keep my guard up at the right times. It's impactful to someone out there. So I'm not going to, beat around the bush about what life was like growing up in that kind of environment.
How do you plan to approach life moving forward with men's mental health, with speaking out about what you're actually going through, navigate it for other people?
I think communication is a big thing.
Why did you feel like you couldn't express yourself? I know you said you didn't want people to view you in a certain light, but even some of your closest people, why did you feel that you couldn't be vulnerable and open up?
Ego.
Ego?
I think ego is a big thing. I knew I was getting shit done either way. So why do I need to burden you with what's going wrong in my life? I'm still moving forward. I've still got so much ahead of me. I don't need to have someone there to show me sympathy. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
So then it all just crashes down. Like, that moment when I found out my dad died, I needed someone. Yet I still chose to sit there by myself. And it's just the worst thing ever. So like I said, we all need someone. It's just about learning how to give and take. So be there for someone in a way that they need it, and then expect the same.